Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of the OCNJ Local, your podcast for everything happening here in America's greatest family resort. We're your hosts, Dominic Doherty and Drew Fazy.
And we are your local guys.
I almost got it, Drew. Episode
You did it.
50.
You got it.
No, I pointed before I said your name, but episode
Welcome,
50.
Chief Becker.
Good morning.
Chief Becker, what does that mean? He's chief of the Ocean City Beach Patrol.
Chief of the Ocean City Beach Patrol. My official title is Chief of Operations for the Ocean City Beach Patrol.
Awesome.
And how long have you been in that role, Chief?
Well, this is really my first official year with running the whole operation. I have a lot of support. It's not just me. I don't want to mislead anybody. We have a great team. This is my first official year, but I've been deputy chief, or I've been the chief for 3 years.
Very cool.
This year I am the top honcho. There's no one above me.
Who did you?
Oh man, it's a lot of pressure.
Take over for?
The previous chief was Mark Jamison. He did a great job. And then the city brought in a director for the last 4 or 5 years. And that's why I'm now in the role, because they no longer needed him there. And so here I am.
Awesome.
And a little bit about you. Where did you grow up and where did you go to school?
I grew up here in Ocean City at the most beautiful street, Arkansas Avenue. Went to Holy Spirit High School, went to St. Augustine's there on Asbury Avenue, as did most of my 13 siblings. I'm one of 13. I'm the 7th out of 13, which is
so
probably
the middle child almost.
I'm the middle child, which is probably why I'm perfect for this job. I used to get beat up by my older brothers, but I got to beat my younger brothers up as we were growing up. So.
And
right here in Ocean City, great spot. Now I'm in Upper Township.
Where does Robert fall?
He's the baby. He's the 13th.
So I'm going to age myself now. I coached your brother Robert in Babe Ruth baseball.
Oh, great.
When he was 13.
Yeah. You're going back a while, because I don't even know all my siblings' age, but Robert's the baby. He's got 2 boys of his own now, and he lives on the island off of Battersea. So he's doing great. He's going to be excited to hear that we're talking.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So first year running everything, the Ocean City is unique. If you go down any of the local barrier islands here, especially in our Chiefs Association, the majority of the islands are split up into different towns. Whereas Ocean City, it's all one town. So you have a 7-mile stretch of beach to cover. What does it take to do that? And how do you manage all that territory to cover?
Well, there's a lot of history to the Ocean City Beach Patrol. So there's been a lot of different ways to do that. But the best way to do it, the Beach Patrol is, I think it's 127 years old this year. So It's been around a while. So
it's almost as old as Drew.
Yeah.
Almost.
Don't be mean. We have the island divided into 4 different zones. So 1 through 4, they all have a certain amount of beaches. Each of those zones has a captain who's in charge of that zone, and then 2 lieutenants below them that are constantly paying attention to the guards and helping them out with whatever they need. That's how we do it now, and that's how they've been doing it for a long time. It works.
That's awesome. And
how many guards do you typically have, and how many officers do you typically have?
Well, this year we've been running right around a full staff, including me, of 184, 185. This year we'll be a little bit beyond that because we have some more part-timers, but we're right around 190 employees, including me. So you have you have 4 captains, you have 8 lieutenants. We have about 12 medics because they rotate. There's a medic at each zone. And yeah, it's a pretty big operation.
So now we talked about the forward facing people. There are a couple people I know who put in a lot of work, in that month of May and in those months of September back in what is referred to as the boat shop. And I think that's something that a lot of people don't know about.
Right.
Give us a little bit about the boat shop and what goes on there.
That's a great thing to bring up because the boat shop, which I'm a big part of, and then we have Justin Southard, who's the captain of the boat shop, is really the backbone of the operation. Where they take care of the boats, they build the stands, they paint the floors, the walls, they maintain the vehicles or get them maintained. They get the whistles down to the zones if someone's out of a whistle. That's down to only about a crew of 4 now.
Wow.
I understand it used to be a bigger operation, but in my past life, I was part of a school supply distribution company. So we've been able to streamline some things. And Justin Southard's, Captain Southard, who's back there full time, he's also a great hard worker. So we've streamlined it. It's running very well.
Yeah, I don't think people realize all the coats of paint, all the, when things break, when you're out there on nights in Venice and you're blowing the stand up with fireworks, somebody's got to fix that. It doesn't magically come out of thin air. And Justin does do a great job back there.
Yeah, he does an excellent job. At any given day, we could arrive to the beach in the morning and a stand could be completely destroyed. So, there's those types of emergencies, and it's an ongoing job. But you're right, it's longer than the lifeguarding season because we have to get everything ready and then we have to shut everything down. So it's a great job to have. Justin loves it.
And where is that located?
That is located at 46 and West Avenue. There's that building down there that the fire department has part of it. There's a post office in the middle, an information booth in the middle, and we're to the south side of that building on 46.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So, 190 full-time staff.
Well, not all full-time.
Well, 190 staff members, let's say. That's a lot of people. That really pales in comparison to the thousands of people that you guys are responsible for. Typically on any given day, how many, calls to action do you guys get?
Well, we actually track all of that. It's way more than it's a lot. Because the way the Ocean City does it is we are preventative. So we keep people within the green flags. You're only supposed to swim at certain beaches. So there's quite a bit of preventative actions going on. And then when we look at the rescues at the end of the year, I can't remember the number of how many rescues they are, but we track them by beach, by how many people were rescued, by what rescue tools they used. Did they use the paddleboard or just the can? Jet ski was involved. So when we call that in on the radio, we track it, and it's a big number. It's a lot.
Yeah.
So is there a beach or an area that gets the most of that activity?
Absolutely. That's downtown, right at 9th Street. Between 8th and 12th Street are your busiest beaches. So that's where there's a lot of rescues. Any local knows, the tourist doesn't know it, but any local knows that 9th Street jetty is probably one of the worst spots for someone to swim.
Yes, it is. Stay far away.
We do, tourists, if you're not a swimmer, stay far away from all the jetties, really, but specifically 9th Street.
Yeah, take a walk to the north of the Music Pier, and swim over there on 8th Street. You're way better off.
Exactly. We have extended hours once we get fully ramped up at those beaches, 8th, 9th, 12th, because, you know, when the lifeguards leave at 5 on the weekdays and 5:30 on the weekends, you always have a few people that don't know the area that just they decide to take a swim. So we're at those beaches till 7:30 most of the summer to try and prevent some of those after-hour emergencies.
Very cool.
And staying until 7:30 today, they won't be taxed on overtime, right?
Well, they say that is overtime for them.
That's what I mean. They won't be
Yeah.
taxed on it.
Oh,
Coming soon.
Did that go through?
I don't know, honestly.
Yeah, but that will be nice. That will be very nice. You know,
Yeah,
because
for
a
real.
lot of these college kids, a lot of our guards are college kids, and they're trying to make as much money as they can.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How
Now-
many, percentage-wise, speaking of which, how many are local kids? How many Ocean City kids are on the patrol?
Well, you know, out of the 190, I don't know. I would say 40% of them at this point.
Wow, really?
It's hard to say exactly what that is, but I can answer it this way, saying that in the last few years, I've noticed we didn't have many local kids. So I would go to the job fairs, the surf coaches, and all the job fairs for the high schools in the area, and it seems to have been working. Because at this tryout that we just did this past Saturday on June 7th, we had an enormous, overwhelming amount of locals participate.
No kidding.
We had 130 people signed up, 47 showed, and the majority of them were locals.
Wow. And of those, how many were you looking to hire?
8.
Wow.
That's
That's competitive.
That is competitive.
It's very competitive. Let me just tell you, the last 4 or 5 years, we were taking 40, 37, 42, quite a bit. We were even having a August test where we would usually take 10 to 14 kids for the next summer. Now we're back to that. Seems like we're back to that elite status where you've really got to be a competitive person to get on the beach patrol. So 8's a very low number for us.
Yeah.
It was it's a bittersweet thing for me because a lot of only 8 got on out of 47. Only 8.
Well, I think that speaks volume to the changes that you guys have made over those past 5 years to help retain guards, to help bring people back, because, you know, there is a lot of turnover. You know, you have 190, but if you're hiring 40, 30 people each year, it's great to see that they're coming back, because 1, that means, you know, you guys are doing a good job, and 2, and probably more importantly, it means you have some guards on the stand that have experience, and that speaks volume to keeping people safe.
Yep.
Absolutely. I mean, just the simple math, you have, say, at the minimum, last year we took about 40, so we have roughly 42-year guards. So they have that 1 year of experience. Can you imagine if we had to take another 40 rookies? So you'd have 42-year guards and then 30 some rookies. It's a lot of beginners. So as chief, it makes me nervous. But that being said, we have such a good long-term captains and lieutenants out there that do a fantastic job supporting these guards. I mean, we have an A team right now. Our deputy chiefs, our captains, our lieutenants, they're the best. They're great.
Who is the longest tenured guard that you have
Currently?
Yes.
That would be Captain Paul Gallagher 40, I think it's his 42nd or 43rd year.
Wow.
We have 5 people currently on the beach patrol that have over 25 years. And the majority of them are in that lieutenant or captain position.
Wow.
So that's a lot of experience.
I
That's
coached
awesome.
Paul's kids too.
He has a few of them that have been on there through the years. He just has 1 out of his 3 boys on it now.
Cool.
Yeah,
He's a good guy. Paul's a good dude.
absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I've known him my whole life too. I mean, growing up down here, you know a lot of these people.
Sure.
So
It's fun to be the old guy though. You know, because I am definitely the old guy. So I tell them all the time, there's nothing better than sitting the stand. That is the absolute best part of the beach patrol, being an actual lifeguard and rescuing people and helping people. That's the best part. This administrator stuff, nothing like that. Nothing.
So in addition to rescuing people and saving people and doing all this stuff, you guys also go out and compete a lot. You know, can you speak on that a little bit? What does that involve? And, you know, how can people go out and check that out?
Yeah, we will. I think we'll be posting all of the races in South Jersey. So there's a South Jersey's Chief Association, and all the islands, all the different beach patrols have a specific date that they have their competitions. So we can't participate in all of them, but we do as many as we can. And they're great to watch. I used to watch them as a kid, and here I am now as an older guy. They're still just as exciting to watch. You have the boat, the singles, boat races, doubles. A lot of them are bringing on the paddleboard, which I'm really big on, and then the swims and the runs. Some really true athletes participate in these. So we have a couple really good athletes on the beach patrol now. I'm hoping this is their year to bring us back some trophies.
Yeah, you have some legacy rowers, the O's brothers. Their dad was a rower, so it'd be neat to see them, you know, kind of follow in their footsteps. And you guys also host a pretty cool race too, a pretty unique race here in town, correct?
We do. We have a women's lifeguard invitational every July, and we get about 15 beach patrols that participate in that. And it includes the boats, the paddleboards, the runs, the swims. It's very exciting to watch. That we moved it from the south end to 12th Street last year. So that made it change a little bit more because you have to deal with the jetties. But we're going to continue to do it down there. That's where it's going to be this year. And it's exciting. I encourage anybody to come down and watch it. It's a quick competition because it's done at the end of the day because most of the guards are working the day. So it's basically starts at 6 and we are done right at sundown.
Very cool. Very cool.
And then there's another race in Ocean City. I know there's typical races, but there's another race that you have, right?
We do. We have something called the OCBP John Kerry Master Swim, which is on July 13th. And that's a 1 mile swim where the swimmers put the wristbands on. So we tag them. We can monitor who's coming in at what place. We did move that to the evenings. We tried to have it in the mornings for a couple of years, but we seem to have lost some of the enrollment. So now it's back in the evenings and likely going to take place downtown also, which is super cool, you know, because downtown swimming, the boardwalk, it's just a nice backdrop.
Yeah.
So that's a great competition. A lot of alumni go to it. A lot of locals go to it.
Yeah, I've done that one quite a few years.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I enjoy that swim. That's a good swim. If you're into swimming, pool or ocean, it's always a good time. The master swim.
Even if you're not into swimming, you just are a beginner. It's worth the T-shirt, I think. So we take pride in our T-shirts. That's what I do competitions for, the shirts.
And
Drew
so
does it for the glory.
The patrol versus patrol, and you'll travel to different islands. How many of those races are there that you participate in during the summer?
About 10 or so, I think. Yeah, we try to get in as many as we can because our athletes want to be in them. They want to be in them. And then, of course, we want to put them in it. It gets tough, though, towards the end of the year when some of the college kids are leaving. So it just gets tough keeping the beaches manned and still participating because some of these kids, they're working all day. We pull them off the stand at about 2 o'clock to go to these competitions. So it's a little tough, but we do as many as we can.
And what's the biggest of those?
That would be the South Jerseys over, I guess I forget where it is. I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank right now. That's the big
I want to say it might be in Brigantine again.
I was going to say Brigantine also.
Yeah, they have some good rowers over there in Brigantine right now. The Savelle brothers, I believe, are kind of taking South Jersey rowing by storm.
You're right. They have a fantastic rowers, and I think you're right. That's where it's at. So
yeah, and that's always the first or second Friday in August. Yeah. I can't remember this year, but that's always a good one to go to. There's also this, even if you're looking and you're in town, it's really fun to go watch the in-town races too, where all the Ocean City Beach Patrol members compete against themselves to go out and travel to these races. So, and those are usually during the week. So if you're looking for something fun to do before you head up to the boardwalk, do you still do those at 34th Street?
We still do those at 34th Street mostly. Some of the paddleboard competitions we've moved to 12th Street just out of convenience. But yes, you're exactly right. They're fun to watch, and it's challenging. They all want to be the winners of our inner city competitions so that they can compete outside our city in Margate and the South Jerseys, and it's pretty fun to watch.
I'll bet, yeah.
So we got to make sure we post that on the website.
Yeah,
I'll get you those dates.
Great.
Thank you.
Yeah. If we can shift gears for a minute, so do you have a message that you would like to put out to the general public on whatever you'd like? Safety, I would imagine would be number one. Something that you'd like to say to people?
Well, I have a lot that I could say to people, but what comes to mind when you ask me that question is just to be aware. Be aware of what the lifeguards are trying to do. They're trying to keep everybody as safe as possible. Some of these guards are younger, and they are a little bit inexperienced. So we have our team down there at all times to help them, but they just need your support to stay within the green flags, to fill your holes in that you dig at the end of the day, to come to them if you have a question. They just need your support to stay within the rules of the beach. A big problem is the throwing the balls. Everybody wants to throw a ball, but there's some of these beaches are so packed you can't throw a ball. So understand when these younger guards are coming to you and telling you, hey, you need to be inside the flags. Today's not a good time to throw the ball, or do you mind filling that hole in when you're done at the end of the day? They're a little timid. So understand that they're doing their job. They're just doing their job.
And they do a great job. I mean, they really do. I have to say, I've never been on the beach patrol, but have been on the beach my entire life. Ocean City Beach Patrol does a fantastic job.
We do. They're true. I really feel we have a true professional A team going on right now. Because I'm one of those chiefs that gets out there, talks to them, tries to know all their names. I mean, right now I got to warm my brain up to remember some of these faces because they're just coming back. But we have the A team going on right now. the Ocean City is the safest place to be for the summer.
I would agree. Definitely.
Yes.
So,
you know, we're linked pretty tight with the fire department and the police department. The police department is having a demonstration tomorrow of their new drone, which is now capable to spot a victim and drop a life-saving device to them.
Really?
Wow.
So, yeah, so they're doing a demonstration tomorrow at 12th Street between 12 and 1. So we have that kind of backup now. So
True. Didn't you volunteer to be the victim?
I
thought you did that on the. I thought you
to
did that on the last podcast.
I am going. I
did.
do want to say it, but you know, Chief, I knew that the police department had the drone unit. I did not know that they had the capability of dropping a life-saving device.
Actually, those drones are capable of carrying 2 life preservers. So it's some amazing technology that the city has now. So, you know, if you want to be safe, Ocean City, I can't think of anywhere that would have all of these resources going in the summer. It's great. You know?
Yeah. Well, that's I think we could definitely agree to that, and that's probably a good place to wrap up. Chief, is there any closing thoughts that you have that you want to share?
Just thank you for all the support out there. Thank you to the city for supporting the Beach Patrol. They've been great to us over many, many years. And this community support, we appreciate all the support that's out there. I'd like to say to all of my team members, my guards and my captains and lieutenants and stat officers and EMTs, thank you for doing such a good job for us. I really feel we have the best team. It's great.
Awesome. Well, if you're out there on the beach, swim near a lifeguard, make sure you listen. And as always, thanks for tuning in. This has been the OCNJ Local, your podcast for everything happening here in America's greatest family resort.
Thank you, Chief.
Everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.
Appreciate your time.